Hey folks, Deano here again. This time, take a look at another one in this new saga of fakes. With these latest two, I am convinced that this is the No Name company making a comeback. It's got all of the same just parts that you'd expect from them, you know. This one's UI Goku, which I wasn't really expecting anyone to make. I don't know how they managed to get a hold of it, seeing as how it's an older figure now. It took them a while, let's just say that. But yeah, without further ado, let's take a look at the box. So, standard box. You will notice though, I think the UI Sign Goku and the fake Gohan all had that same red backing, which is making me think they're all at the very least part of the same company. Whether it's the same company from back in the day, I don't know, but like I said, I really do think they have something to do with it. But yeah, picture there, it's grainy, it's clearly been copied from the official. They've taken away everything this time. There's not a single mention of anything on the bottom. I mean, they haven't even written the name on the side. I don't know if that's the same as the previous ones I've looked at, but that's me just noticed. You can tell I'm attentive. It's even more bizarre because they do still name them. It's not as if they're hiding the fact that it's a bootleg. But yeah, very grainy picture on the back. You can barely make out some of the details. But yeah, let's get that out of the road. In my pile of bootleg box trash. So yeah, in terms of accessories, he comes with... where to start? He's got gritty teeth face, which looks as if he's kind of been punched because it's off centre. You've got this one, which is kind of off. I don't know why, but the prints for UI Sign Goku were far better than this. It's as if the eyebrows are not in the right place, especially on this one. Like, the eyebrows are near enough on top of his eyes. I don't know what happened there. And for some bizarre reason, the normal, supposedly stern face is actually a slight smile. I'm not really sure why. The eyebrows even lend it to the fact that it's as if he's relieved for some reason, which is a bit strange. I don't really understand this face at all. I mean, I'll take a unique face. Like, this isn't something that came with the official. But yeah, strange all the same. His hair, unfortunately, isn't shiny. It's sort of just like grey, like almost satin grey. So yeah, just for this guy, because I don't actually have the official one anymore, I had to get rid of it. But I might get the Demoniacal Fit head sculpt and put it on here just to make it look a bit better, or not. I mean, I'd be spending more money on the faces, or the heads, sorry, than I would for this figure. But yeah, the only other accessory, which I can't for the life of me get put together, is his Kamehameha. For some reason, they've moulded this, the main ball, in hard plastic, as you can see. Apologies to any headphone users. But yeah, there is absolutely no way of getting the beam effects into this. That clearly wasn't checked before they let it go, but judging by how excuse me, judging by how fast these figures actually made it onto AliExpress, I'm guessing they were rushed, to be honest with you. But yeah, in terms of actual... Oh, one more thing. Again, came with a free display stand. That's 4 for 4 on these new bootlegs coming with stands, which definitely lends credence to them being part of the same family. In terms of hands, you've got a pair of Key Blast, pair of martial arts posy hands, and finally, a pair of Kamehameha hands. Standard array for Goku, and the same that came with UI. So yeah, let's finally get into this guy, shall we? So, first things first, he's quite shiny. I mean, he comes across quite sweaty. It's not really showing up on camera, at least through the viewfinder, but the chest piece is either a harder plastic than the rest, or it's been painted for some bizarre reason. These seem like the standard sort of kind of cheap plastic that they use for these bootlegs, but that piece in particular is strange, and it's also smaller than you'd expect, because it doesn't actually move any. Like, you can't get it to move at all. Which makes him come across a bit lanky. I don't know if that's been noticed by anyone yet, but it's there, definitely. As for the rest, this piece is actually plastic this time, as opposed to the painted one on UI Sign. That lower torso area has been binned. I found a Awakening bootleg in my parts drawer and just stuck that one instead. Looks far better. But this one isn't as bad as that one was. Quite like that. They have bizarrely put a little bit of shading on the legs, which, I mean, even Tamashi doesn't do that these days. Yeah, it's not too bad. The feet are a strange one. The heel to the middle of the foot is the same as a normal Goku, but if I can get this off, there we go. They haven't actually used the pin system, probably to save money. It's just a pop-on piece that they've used, which is too big. They've obviously moulded that themselves, but it's, I mean, you can see there, it's completely out of scale. But yeah, apart from that, he's not bad. Obviously, between the legs being a tiny bit too wide and the torso being a tiny bit too long, he doesn't quite look proportioned, if that makes sense. But if you're putting him in the back of a display, he won't look bad, honestly. In terms of articulation, his neck can go from side to side. It does tend to get stuck. Again, giving credence to the fact that this is not the right size. I don't know where they've got this from. It was a bit weird. But yeah, he looks down that much, up that much, including breaking his own neck. Does swivel, as you'd expect, wee bit loose, but it stays on. That's the main thing. Arms can get up that far. Swivel. They haven't popped out as yet. I did, in the package, the arms were the wrong way around, and so was the groin section. You can tell because that's clearly the back end compared to the front. But yeah, just simple pop that out and he's back in business. You can see the elbow joint is back to front. Let's see if I can pop this out quickly. Yeah, so this piece should be flipped. It should be the other way around, but for some reason it's not. So it kind of looks not as bad as UI Signs was. I fixed that one before I actually reviewed it, but this one doesn't look as bad, thankfully, so I didn't have to do as much to it. So yeah, elbow joint can just about get the normal range. It's a bit tight because it's obviously on back to front. Normal wrist pegs, which I dare not touch. Me and bootlegs, they will always break. And I kind of want to actually display this one. So yeah, the waist, it doesn't actually move. Well, the chest area doesn't. The waist moves a little bit, which is decent. The legs are actually not bad, I have to say. For their own design, it's kind of awkward. I wish they were further in, because you can tell there's a more obvious gap than there should be. But it works okay. You can kick out that far, kick back just as far. You can kick out, almost do the splits. Double jointed knees. And feet can do the standard Goku stuff, as well as the toe hinge. Yeah, that's the issue I have with this one. Those hips can be a bit awkward looking if you don't fix it all. But yeah, all in all, if you don't mind him being slightly out of proportion, I'd say he's not bad standing. Especially if you have him in like a display where his back's turned. Like, that's what I'm planning on doing with him. UI sign in front with UI at the back. So you can't really see the issues. But yeah, guys, for 15 quid, that's, you can't really bark at that, can you? So yeah, until next time, guys, I'll see y'all later.